The RPK16 is the newest weapon to be added to BattleBit Remastered, and there's no denying it, folks. It has very quickly rat-a-tat-tatted its way into the hearts of support players worldwide. You'll be hard-pressed to not see someone using this thing in-game or raving about it in BattleBit's social circles. But is the weapon actually worth using, or are we in one overhyped honeymoon stage? G'day there once again, viewers, your mate Kamikaze78 here, and today, folks, we're going to be reviewing this thing, the RPK16 light support gun in BattleBit Remastered. So folks, a quick rundown on the video format for those who are new to the channel. We're going to start off with a top to bottom inspection of the RPK16 stats. We'll then move on to some tips and tricks for using the weapon based on those stats, and really dive into how the RPK makes its presence known on the battlefield. And then it's all about the attachment options and how we can take the RPK from good to great. And let me tell you folks, there's a lot we can do with this beast. It is a truly adaptable weapon. Once again, a big thank you goes out to BattleBit community member Oxygen, whose tools and stat collation have done a lot to help inform these weapon reviews going forward. Also a reminder folks that if you happen to enjoy the video, be sure to hit the like button, subscribe to the channel, and come check us out over on our Twitch channel as well. The streams have been both chaotic yet immaculate as of late, and it would be great to welcome more of you guys over there as well, so be sure to come check us out on the Purple platform too. But for now, let's start focusing on just the unhinged, bloody menace that the RPK16 is. So, starting off with the damage model here, folks, we are greeted by what one may consider a modest proposal. And no, that isn't meant to be some cursed reference to a modest proposal by Jonathan Swift. If you know, you know. No, the RPK16 sits here as a pretty modest weapon in the damage department, actually, rocking a maximum damage of 32 out of the 101 meter mark, which plops the RPK16 basically right in line with the L86A1, which I'm not gonna lie, kind of surprised me when I first saw the stats for this gun. I really had the expectation that this thing was going to be one heavy hitting SOB, but nope. It finds itself with a 4-shot kill against everything up to medium armors, and I do want to highlight that for a second here actually. A consistent bullet to kill threshold across all armor classes until you hit the medium armor set. That is a very nice bonus to have, folks, and it really translates to consistency as you're using the weapon and switching between targets quickly. It gives you confidence in your muscle memory, and that is huge in a game like BattleBit Remastered. And man, the range in which this thing keeps that damage up is also a very, very nice bonus here. It kind of gives the weapon the ability to be great in places it has no heckin' right to be. And we'll talk about why, especially more so in the attachment section of this video and when we start talking about, you know, potential builds with this thing. Something that is worth noting here, unfortunately, is that exo armor does punish the weapon badly. So if you come across a fellow chonker, it's going to hurt that efficiency that you'll be getting used to. Headshots wise, the RPK is well and truly a gift that does keep on giving in that department, getting us down to a 3-shot kill against all helmet types except for exo armor. It's nothing short of bloody brilliant actually when you smack a bunch of people with headshots with this gun. It's just so efficient in that manner. So what's the catch? Well, it comes in the form of the fire rate here, which sits at a steady but far from brisk pace of 680 rounds per minute, which unfortunately does lead us on to some tough conversations in the time to kill space for the RPK16. With a baseline time to kill of 265 milliseconds, this comfortably puts the RPK16 as the weakest light support gun when placed against its counterparties directly in the category. Now, that's not to say that the RPK16 is explicitly a bad weapon. The F2000 that we talked about in our last weapon review proves that there's more to a weapon than its raw firepower, but it is a factor we need to consider here, and something that will inform how we use the weapon going forward. While the base time to kill isn't perfect by any stretch, we do see that consistency in action here with everything up to medium armor, maintaining that best case TTK, and headshots do help the weapon greatly as we can see here, but ouch! That 441 millisecond best case time to kill against exo armors is not great. And you'll definitely be feeling that if you come across a lot of targets in quick succession and one of them just happens to be running that exo armor. As always, headshots greatly turn tides back in the favor of the RPK16, but that's to be expected at this point. As always, just want to be clear also in mentioning that these time to kill stats are theoretical in nature, assuming that all bullets will either hit the chest or the head area sequentially with 100% accuracy and no bullet travel time being taken into account. Obviously, the further a target is from you, the less accurate you are likely to be here, so just remember that when looking at these stats here. With the muzzle velocity, we deal with a 600 meters per second velocity, which is very much in the ballpark of being workable at medium ranges, but does fall a bit short by comparison to assault rifles in general. But anyone here who has used the RPK16 already will know that its saving grace, or its party trick if you will, is not its outright damage output. Nah, it's the controllability of the thing. And guys, feast your eyes on those recoil stats here. Combine a vertical recoil of 1.4 and a horizontal recoil of 0.85 with this fire rate, and let me tell you what here, folks. We have a true combination on deck here for one stellar, sublime, sultry, some may even say, recoil pattern. This thing feels smooth as butter to use under sustained fire, even at ranges that one may not normally consider using the RPK16 here, but more on that shortly. The control of 0.7 here is actually going to be a real defining element of the weapon's ability to, hold up in those stupidly long engagements, and at that point you might just start painting an outline around your target instead of hitting them, but you'd have to be really wringing the neck out of the RPK to get to that point in my experience. Taking a moment to look at the reload, we are welcomed by a 4-second flat base reload speed. Doesn't sound brilliant out of the gate, I know, but when you compare it to the other light support guns in the game, it actually puts it in a right happy medium. It's actually completely in line with the likes of the AK-74, so any advocates of the AK are going to feel right at home here with this reload speed. Throw in the fact that the RPK comes with a 45 round magazine as opposed to the standard 30 with no real reload speed penalty to boot, and well, hot dickety dog biscuits, it's gonna feel like we've put on the nice list for the good old Christmas rush this year. Dumping the magazine entirely puts us at approximately a 3.31 second reload time, which may give you back those crucial seconds in a jam, so it is worth doing from time to time. Just as per usual though, try to avoid that long reload time. It really does make you feel like you're reloading through quicksand, and no one likes that. We've got bad guys to kill, damn it. Mobility wise, the RPK actually has another surprise under its belt, a 240 millisecond ADS time, which places this weapon in line with the more baseline assault rifles in the game, and it's spades ahead of what the MG36 and the L86A1 ADS speeds are of 300 milliseconds. We've also got a slightly improved run speed here as well, which shouldn't be brushed aside here. So that's the RPK16, folks, and look, I gotta be honest with you all, when the developers announced that yet another light support weapon was coming to the game for the support class, I was like, cool, good for support players. It's no M60, but still cool nonetheless. I personally was rather meh on the whole announcement, right? I never really expected to fall in love with the thing. But, like any shitty rom-com storyline, the RPK has just casually walked its way into my life, and now I can't get rid of the fucking thing. This thing is damn amazing, folks. Sure, it's not the fastest killing weapon out there with headshots or body shots, not by a long shot. But what it does bring to the table is just a damn good experience. I just feel at ease, at zen with my inner peace when using this weapon. As long as I don't find myself rushing on into battle willy-nilly and picking my engagements nice and calmly, I've never really found myself going, drats, the RPK really let me down there. No, if I died, it was 100% my fault for getting too aggressive and not knowing how to pace myself with the RPK. And as someone who normally is all about movement and zooming from kill to kill, I really had to take a chill pill with this weapon and pace myself accordingly. Where this weapon makes up for its lacking damage is its ability to just point and hit the rounds required to send a target to the Shadow Realm. That advantage is quickly lost the moment you wander into range where, say, a Vector is able to blast you to the nth degree. So, sitting at those distances where SMGs are going to struggle in taking you to Pound Town, and you just out DPS them because your rounds are going where you want them to, is going to be the key to success here. And don't get me wrong, folks, it's going to be tempting to rush forward with this weapon. The RPK's mobility stats actually allude to it being a menace in CQC. A 45 round mag with a 240 millisecond ADS time and a 0.98 movement multiplier makes it very easy to get a bit angsty with the RPK, but again, you really shouldn't. The RPK is probably the one light support gun in the game that is somewhat designed to be more of a point holding or vantage point abuser weapon now. Sit somewhere, get a good angle, and enjoy the kills as they come rolling in, despite very little neuro activation being required to move your mouse in response to the weapon's recoil. There's really not much else to say about it, folks. Stay patient, pick your targets, and use the weapon's light as hell recoil to bring home the day to your advantage. It's just a comfy weapon, which means it's not the most efficient killing machine out there, but there's nothing wrong with that if that's what you're looking for. The one tip I can give is to make the most of the 45 round mag here. You have it in combination with a really solid reload speed to boot here, so put it to use. And with some good trigger discipline, you can actually farm a good amount of kills here per magazine. So go forth and farm egregiously. But wait now, you can't just go farming with a weapon egregiously without having the right attachment set up on board either. So let's take a moment to talk attachments about the RPK16 here. And as I alluded to earlier, guys, this is a very adaptable weapon. So I've got 3 cracking loadouts for you guys here today, all dependent on what you want to do with it. The first one is very much going to be our jack of all trades loadout, the build that you can put on the RPK16 with the goal of just really, being as ready for as much as you possibly can. For starters, we're going to rock the 1x reflex sight of your choice here. For me, I've really been enjoying the PKAS scope, which has felt really nice on this weapon. Great clarity and just a really easy sight picture to use. Something a bit different actually for me, but hey, I really like it. The compensator barrel is going to be our next pick for the day here. While it does somewhat hurt our velocity, it does bring down that recoil on all fronts by 5%, which goes a long way when we combine it with our grip attachment, the SE5 grip. The SE5 collectively reduces the recoil by an additional 7%, only at the cost to reload time and ADS speed. And again, given that we aren't aiming to use this thing that aggressively, we can sacrifice those stats in favor of some extra recoil control. We're also going to throw on the target detector on all of the loadouts that we're suggesting here today, because at the time of writing this video, there is literally no reason not to at the moment, so put the target detector on as soon as you get it. Now, loadout number 2 for us here today, folks, is all about playing the really long game with the RPK. Unironically, it's going to slow you down, but it's also going to heavily rely on you finding those amazing flanks to just go on absolute murder rampages with. So let's talk about the build here. Same as last time, take that 1x reflex sight of your choice and the target detector, but this time we're going to take a 60 round drum mag. Yep, I know I'm a madman for recommending this absolute shungoose of a magazine here on what is meant to be a flank kit, but I gotta tell you folks, there is something so bloody satisfying in just melting down an entire squad with an RPK and 60 rounds of hot, steaming lead. Now, we are taking the B25 grip here as well to try and counterbalance the hits of the reload speed that we take here as well, but ultimately, you're gonna move slower and you're gonna need to pick your reloads smarter overall. You're just gonna need to play smart and really pick your moments to execute the flanks. But when it works, fuck me, it works well. And let me tell you, you're gonna wanna make sure you're using all of that magazine per reload here. And just for a little extra chaos, because why not, we're gonna take the long suppressor here as well, because going on an absolute murder spree is even better from the cover of silence, and it just adds a whole degree of spice to the whole experience that is just, so worth it. But just like old Billy Mays here, I'm not done yet! I reckon we can get just one more silly loadout out of this RPK here, folks. Just one more. Insert the counter sniper RPK build. Okay, look, it's really not a true counter sniper kit, but it's damn near close, and when someone in my Twitch chat told me to give this build a run for its money, I was damn near flabbergasted as to how effective it actually ended up being. This time, the VAMB762 barrel makes an appearance alongside the vertical grip. This combination is all about reducing that vertical recoil every little bit we can to make this thing easy as hell to use for those longer range engagements under sustained fire. While yes, the horizontal recoil does take a significant hit here, it actually still feels incredibly usable and doesn't necessarily feel like a big hit to the shakiness that comes from that horizontal recoil, even at longer distances. And then of course, we're rocking a 2x slip scope with a 1x reflex sight to boot. This combination gives you the engagement distance needed for that long range clarity when engaging long distance targets. And let me tell you again, folks, I wouldn't have believed it if I hadn't tried it myself, but here we are. This build is stupidly effective at long distance, and the RPK is easily one of the best guns in the game right now for full automatic spray downs with a medium range scope. It just is at the moment. And in a certain way, it's really carved its way out into the meta of being that much fun for that reason. But folks, there you have it. That is going to be our weapon review on the RPK16 here today. A bit of a longer one for us today, but we did have more loadouts to suggest, and again, we're trying new things with the videos at the moment. So if you guys enjoyed the video, a backhand of the like button would go a long way to supporting the channel. And if you're new here, consider subscribing whilst you're at it to stay up to date with all future video releases. As always, come check out my Twitch channel and check out my other social media links down below. We've got a lot of really cool stuff down there for you guys to check out, including some channel merch. Once again, guys, I hope you enjoyed today's video. Peace out, and I will see you guys all in the next one. Take care, guys. Have a good one.